All right.
So we're at 18?
Yeah.
Go ahead and give a test tap here. Tap. 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 Let's try 24. Tap. 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 30.
What is it? So her, like, just recognizing that she feels it isn't enough, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to see her, because right now she's not fazed by it. Tap. 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 Are we seeing any movement here?
See, she moves her ears every single time I tap. I don't.
Tap.
And that's why she sat down,
Tap.
too.
Okay, go ahead and bring her over.
So.
About a foot away. Yeah, so you're gonna come in about here. There we go. That's good. And then you're gonna tap 3 times. If no response, keep tapping and then lightly pull towards the placemat.
Okay.
Once she's completely on, you'll stop tapping. If she overshoots, counter her with some pressure. Start tapping to lead her back on again. We're trying to do very minimal leash pressure and having the remote do the bulk of the work.
Okay. All right.
Tap. 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 Tap and pull. Tap. 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 All right, and praise, good girl.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
And break.
Okay.
We're gonna do that 4 more times.
Here.
Tap. 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 Tap and pull. What's her usual number?
When we're at the park, we're usually around 50.
Ah, okay, so that makes sense. Let's go to
Good
35.
girl.
Break.
Okay, come on.
Good. 3 more. Tap. Tap.
Ooh.
Tap and pull.
It's just coming off, sorry.
Good. Let's go about 40.
This thing was almost out. Do you think that made a difference?
No.
Antenna? Okay.
Yeah. Even if you lose, what is you won't get the full mile.
Okay,
But
that's
like
what I was
if
thinking.
it breaks off, like you would still have or should have range.
Okay.
Tap. 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 There we go. Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Good. We're trying 2 more. Break.
Okay, come on.
Tap. 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 Good.
Good girl,
Great.
Palma. Good girl.
And 1 more.
Okay, come on.
Good. Tap. 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 Cool. Good. So then, we're at what number now?
Oh, I didn't go up last time. We're at 35.
Let's go to 40. Good. And you're gonna repeat that same process, but now
Okay.
you're gonna walk around the placemat, still sending her about a foot away, but sending her from different directions each time.
Okay.
Good. Praise.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Okay. Release.
Okay.
Good. 4 more.
So I start off from different directions, or I
Yeah,
end?
each time
Okay.
You'll send from a different direction.
Okay.
Yeah.
Come on. Palmas.
Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Go to 45.
Okay. Here, that one was at 46.
Oh, okay, then 50.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Good, 3 more.
Okay. Okay, go.
Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Your vibrate function?
Just the pager?
Yeah. This is not on. Hit the pager again. There we go. Alrighty, let's dip it down to 30.
All right.
So you're gonna go back to square one,
Yeah, okay.
one direction.
Ready? No,
Good. Great.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Right, come on.
Good, 4 more.
Good girl, Palma. Good. Okay.
Good, 2 more. Cool.
Good girl, Palma.
Good girl.
Good girl. Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
25. Good, 1 more.
Okay, go. Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
Release, okay?
Okay, go.
Now you're gonna do the walk around. And if she starts to prematurely go by herself, you're gonna use release to restrict it, okay? So don't allow her to go like that, like right there. See how she's already going?
Yeah.
Don't allow her to do that. Good.
Good girl. Good girl, Palma. Okay. Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Oh, no. Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay, come on. Nope.
Good, second. Yep, good. There we go. Good. And a girl.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl.
1 more.
Come on, flojitis. Come on. Come on. Okay.
Good. Good.
Good
Now,
girl, Palma.
Similar concept. But you're gonna send her about 2 to 3 feet away.
Okay.
So you'll be about here. Keep your leash short. Start the tapping first. And no response, tapping, then pulling, and then refraining from trying to take any step forward. You're trying to keep back where your position is to make it very obvious that she's going from here to there. Okay?
Okay. This is good enough or further?
One little step in closer. There you go. Attack. That's it right there. Yeah, good. There you go. Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Same spot?
Different areas.
Oh.
Yep.
Okay, come on.
Yep. Now,
Come on, Palma.
backwards is cool. There you go. Good girl. Yep. There we go. Add a girl.
Good girl.
You're at 25, right?
Yeah, this one's, 25.
Let's try 28.
Okay, come on. Come on, Palma. Good girl.
There you go. Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Okay, Palma. Come on. Uh-uh.
Yep, Captain Bull. Good.
Good girl. Okay. Okay, come on. Come on. Good girl, Palma.
See how she's getting a little confused?
Yeah.
It's because since you used the prong too, she's getting 2 points of pressure.
Okay.
The collar tells her to go there, but then you're using the prong to restrict her, right? So it's okay. It's just part of the process.
Okay.
Because if she keeps going there by herself, then we don't get the chance to teach her, like when I say this, to go here.
Mm-hmm.
So right now what we're teaching her is when she feels the collar, that now means to go here. So
Mm-hmm.
we've taught that collar means to walk at your side, collar means to come to you, and
Mm-hmm.
now collar means to leave you, okay? So that's another thing is the past two things that we've taught her, collar has meant to come to you in some way,
Yeah.
with heel coming to your left side, with recall, of course, just coming straight to you,
Uh-huh.
okay? So that can also be why she's confused. Is she's thinking, well, collar always means to move to you, but now it's meaning to move opposite of you, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So here we're teaching what we call the send, which is when she feels the collar, it means to go to the bed. In the beginning, we start real close to make it simpler for the dog, just a foot away. The reason why we did the different directions or started doing different directions is because if you always send her from one spot, and like then one day you decide to send her from over here, like you'll see her walk around and come towards it this way.
Okay.
Because dogs are creatures of habit. So if you always practice a very specific way, that's what they'll do. So like if a lot of people will practice sit here in front of them because it's easy to reward. So when they tell the dog to sit, you'll see the dog kind of walk all the way up and sit in front of the person because that's what they're always taught.
Yeah.
Whereas sit technically means just put your butt down no matter where you're at. Okay? So here, we're just getting you comfortable with going to the place from different directions. Then we moved it a little bit further, 2 to 3 feet back, so that we can start getting her to go more from a distance and not always having to be so close. The reason why we don't do the walk up and say place is because if you do that, you always have to do that. Okay, so you'll always have to walk Palma there and say place.
Okay.
Whereas I just want to be able to say place, and she just goes. Questions about any of this stuff so far?
No.
How did you try to teach her before?
I would just lure her to the
Yeah.
mat with a treat.
With the food?
Yeah.
Sure. So it's a similar.
And I would put the mat in like different places, and I think because of that, like I could tell she didn't get it, so I was just like, whatever.
Sure. So technically, where the object is doesn't matter. So place is very versatile. You can have one that you don't move, and it's always in the same spot. You can have one object that you use, but you move it from like the living room to the bedroom to the kitchen or whatever, and she can learn to recognize the object. Technically, you can move it within the room, and she should recognize where the place is. But with the food, there's no incentive other than if you go here, you get a treat. But there's negative pressure is, in my opinion, the best reinforcer because the dog doesn't want it.
Yeah.
Okay? So you're kind of doing the same thing, except now instead of using treats, you're using remote. Okay. So here, what we want to see ideally is that when she feels a tap off of one tap, she just goes. Whereas right now she's still needing a few because she's still a bit confused.
Yeah.
So this is just going to take more reps. So when it comes to practicing place, do you know what the rules of place are?
No. My general idea is that they just have to like stay there.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty simple. Place is the most lenient stationary command. She can sit, she can stand, she can lay down, she can chew on a bone, she can play with a toy. She just cannot step off of the area of place.
Okay.
So here, like let's say I had somebody once, they used like a really big area rug, and they said, "Can that be placed?" I said, "Sure." I was like, "But it's so big, your dog can literally like walk around. But as long as there's a perimeter, you can use it as place." So people have used blankets, towels, dog beds. I've had people use, like they'll take a sheet and like cover a certain pillow of the couch and make that section place. An ottoman. I had someone take painter's tape and just like paint a corner of the room. And that technically could be placed because the tape was a perimeter. So it can be any number of things. It just has to be something that defines an area for her.
Okay.
You can have more than one place within the home. You could have one in the bedroom, one in the living room, one in the kitchen. You can have one that you move around, or just one throughout the entirety of the home, like I mentioned earlier. You just want to pick and choose what it is that you're going to use. A lot of people will carry like a towel or a blanket in their car. So like if they go to a restaurant, it's like their travel place. They just pop it down and tell it out the place. It's meant for extended use. So technically, if you send her to place, she should stay there until you release her. So if that's an hour, 3 hours, 30 minutes, doesn't matter. She should hold the positioning, okay? So what I suggest in the beginning is we have two components here. We have the send and we have the stay. Right now we are working on the send. Feel the tap, go here. The stay is don't get off, right? So to practice the stay, what I suggest is if you're gonna be home, you're gonna do computer work, you're gonna watch TV, you're gonna eat lunch, eat dinner, you're gonna just be still for a bit, you can practice place. Okay, so I like to practice in the beginning with the dog very close to you. So like, let's say you're gonna watch TV, take her dog bed or whatever object you're gonna use, sit it down right next to you, place her, and then watch TV. 30 minutes later, and have her leash on as well. 30 minutes in, she might get bored, she'll try to get off. You won't say anything, you'll just start tapping. She should go back. If she doesn't go back, you keep tapping and then you use leash pressure to guide her. And then she learned, okay, if I try to get off, this turns on again. Okay, 15 minutes later, she tries to get off. Start tapping, a little bit of leash pressure. She goes back to watching TV. Okay, so you practice with her close to you, so it makes it a lot easier for you to correct. I get clients in the beginning that try to skip steps, and they'll put the dog across the room, and then they'll sit to watch TV, and then they complain because they keep having to walk the dog back to place. And I say yes, because the dog's just learning it. That's why we always start with the dog right next to us. It makes life a lot easier. At this stage, if you're gonna get up to do something, I suggest you release her first, and then you get up to go do what you're gonna do. Come back and then place her, or you can leave her alone if she's done. But what we're trying to avoid is if you stand up first and then you release her, she's gonna think every time you stand up, you're gonna release her. Okay, so to avoid that problem, we release first and then do what we're gonna do, and then come back and reposition the dog if needed. Okay? You could literally go home right now and do 2 hours. You don't have to do 5 minutes to 10 minutes to 15 minutes. Literally just go home, have her on the leash with the collar, send her to place, she goes, and then just keep her there for as long as you want. You're just gonna have to correct her. But that's how dogs learn. She learns, like I think earlier she did it once where she kind of like got off and started tapping to go back again. So what she learned there was, if I go to place and I try to get off without permission, this turns back on again, and if I go back to place, it turns off. So in order to avoid the pressure, she just doesn't try to get off in the first place. Okay. If you were to repeat the command, you're technically resetting the command. So she's not learning to not get off. So place means go there and stay there. Okay. So if you say place and she goes, and then 5 minutes later she tries to get off or gets off, and you say place, she goes back again, you just simply told her go to place. You didn't tell her don't get off. Okay, so this is why we don't repeat things, because if you send her and you repeat it every 5 minutes, you're gonna have to repeat it.
Yeah.
Okay, so she technically has to try to get off the placemat, feel the consequence, self-correct, and then learn, oh, place means to go here, but it also means don't get off. Okay, if you find you're correcting her and like every 5 minutes she's trying to get off, even though you're correcting her with the remote, you're probably too low. Okay, so then it's the same thing with like the walking stuff. You want to find the number that's not only going to send her there, but it's going to keep her there for the period of time that you want her. So if you're at what's the number at 30 right now?
28.
28. Let's say you're at 28, and every 10 minutes you have to tap her to correct her back to the place. 28 is getting you 10 minutes, right? But we want to have longer periods of time. So then I start to go up, 33, 38, 43 or whatever, and then maybe you hit 50, and then you tap her and she goes, and then she doesn't get off for an hour. So that tells you that 50 got her to hold still on place for at least an hour, right? So that's a pretty decent amount of time. And then the next time I work with her, I have it at 50. She stays for 2 hours without having to break off. I go, great, 50 is the number that I would use for the place, because that's the number that keeps her there for a longer period of time. Okay, so it shouldn't be a lot of corrections, at least after a few days when she's getting it, if you're at the appropriate level. But if you're too low, she's most definitely going to try to press the boundary.
Okay.
If this is something that you would want to apply outside, at a restaurant, at a friend's house, you definitely want to practice this at home on a regular basis, at least once a day. You don't always have to do 2 hours. You can do 30 minutes, you can do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
You can change the amount of time that you work with her. But if yes, I would like to take her with me to a restaurant, that's like an hour to hour and a half, maybe a little bit longer, is you want to shoot for more. Okay? Because at the restaurant, there's going to be the waiter, there's going to be food, there's going to be other people, distractions, maybe other dogs, and the other things going on. Is in order to compensate for all the distractions, you can do a longer stationary command or stay in the home to compensate. Okay, so if you would be at the restaurant for an hour, and that's like the most you'd ever be at the restaurant for, then at home at least practice for 2 hours from time to time. Okay, so this way when you get to the restaurant, it's going to be a lot easier because she's already capable of doing longer. Now the only difference is there's a lot more distractions going on. Okay?
Yeah.
Questions about any of this?
Nope. It's just convenient because actually doing this is gonna help with the, like, whenever I ignore her or I'm doing something like on the computer, that's when she like pees.
Oh,
She gets pissed at me.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, because this would prevent her from getting anywhere.
Yeah, and I kind of did, well, what I did yesterday was I just put like a rug next to me, but I put the leash on the table so like that she couldn't like go and pee somewhere.
Okay, sure.
But
yeah, this is what we would call preventative control, unless she happens to pee on what you have her on.
yeah, that I don't care.
So, technically, like, let's say you put her on her dog bed, and she pees on it, and she tries to get off because she's like, this is gross, I peed on it. Technically, you would correct that.
Yeah.
Right, because she shouldn't get off unless you give her permission to. And you could maybe use that to correct her, because dogs don't want to be next to the pee or poop. They're clean animals. So if like that's what I do with puppies, is if they pee in the kennel, most people take them out and clean them up and stuff. I don't. I leave them in the kennel, at least until the next outing. So then the puppy goes, oh shit, like, well, I peed in here, then I have to sit next to it for 2 hours. So the next time they have to pee, they're going to think about that. They're like, do I really want to pee and sit next to that for 2 hours?
Yeah.
And they're more inclined to hold the bathroom, okay? So I'm curious as to that, if that would actually help the issue, but technically you would have to correct that. If she peed on her dog bed, all right, that's your problem, because I'm not releasing you, you have to stay put.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay? Other questions? Duration. When it comes to this exercise that we're doing here, because it's so repetitive and redundant, you'd only do this maybe at max twice a day, 3 to 5 minutes each, real short sessions. Because practicing things like this repeatedly tends to stress out dogs. They get frustrated. So that's why she started to kind of shoot there prematurely, because she's wanting to avoid the pressure. So she knows. So we're setting her up, right? Every time you pull her off and stuff to reset. That's why dogs don't want to get off, because they're like, you're just going to tap me again. Is why I keep it shorter, because if you drill for too long, they get frustrated, and then you'll start to see her like kind of like resist even more, or throw a tantrum. So the purpose of this exercise is to get it so that she goes there easily. Okay, I want to be able to say place, boom, and she just goes. I don't have to say place and then it takes her 10 seconds to get there. Okay, so to get that quick response, it's going to be either higher power or just more practice. Okay.
Okay.
Anything else?
No.
So let's go ahead and release her.
Okay, go.
Let's go ahead and bump our number
Okay.
up 5 levels.
Come on, Palma. Come on.
And we're gonna pick up where we left off again, but we're gonna try to get her to go there more quickly.
Okay.
Okay.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Okay.
There we go.
There. Good girl. Yeah, that was just one. Good girl, Palma. Okay, come on. Okay. Come on, Palma. Come on. Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay, come on. Come here. Good girl. Good girl, Palma. Okay, come on. Come here. Come here, Palma. Come here.
There we go.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Is it fine if I lure her out?
How so?
Like with a stick? Okay. Palma, come and get it. You don't like this one? Oh, look at this. Come on.
Good.
Touch. Touch. Oh, good girl. Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Okay, come on. Come here, Palma. No.
Very good.
Good job, Palma. Good girl.
So now that we got it much more consistently easy, we're gonna start using the word place. Or do you want to use a different word?
No, place is good.
Okay. So everything's gonna stay the same, but you're gonna cue word place first. If you say place and she goes, you don't need to tap. Okay. If you say place and she doesn't respond within half a second, then start tapping, and as soon as she goes, you can lay off the pressure.
Okay. Come on, Palma. Okay. Okay, go. Okay. Come on, girl. Place.
Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay. Come on. Come here, Palma. Come here. Touch. All right. Place.
Yep. There we go. Good girl.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Come on. Come on, Palma. Come here. Good girl. Good girl. Place. Oh, wait. I guess. And
She started. It's very again. It's Tori.
yeah. Come on, Palma. Do you want it? Come on. Come here. Touch. Oh, good girl. Place.
Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Come on. Place. Good girl. Good girl.
Very good. So do same concept. I'm gonna have you move back maybe 3 to 4 feet away.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, come on. Place.
Right, girl.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Oh, sorry, girl. Okay, come on. Place.
Good.
Good girl, Palma. Good girl. Okay, come on. Come here. Okay. Palma, come on. Place. Good girl. Good girl. Okay, Palma, come here. Come here. Come here. Place.
Good.
Good girl, Palma.
One more.
Good girl. All right, Palma, you ready? You ready? Come on, touch. Touch. Okay, come on. Oh, it's a little bit of a reach, but. Place.
Yep.
There you go.
And a girl.
Good girl, Palma.
So,
Good girl.
now when you practice this, you can use the word place.
Mm-hmm.
And that last one, where it was like a little bit further, she started it, but then the tap helped her finish.
Mm-hmm.
It's good because she's able to connect those things. So, how far you should be, you send her just depends on how far you want to send her. Most people choose about 4 to 6 feet.
Yeah.
Is the standard. I had one guy that like wanted to send his dog from wherever he had a 3-4 home, but he kept the place in one specific spot, so he could send his dog from wherever. But you always start close, and then you would work your way backwards. Okay? And then if she starts to have problems here, then you come back in closer, practice this some more, go back, and then go back a little bit further. Okay. You can work on these things simultaneously, the sending exercise and the stay exercise. You don't have to do this first before you can use the stay stuff. They would just be 2 separate things, okay?
Okay.
So like, let's say you did 3 minutes of this, and then you decide at the end, like, okay, we're done with the 3 minutes, now you can stay put for 30 minutes. You could do that, okay? Or you can just like do this separately, and then later in the day you go to place, and then you watch TV for an hour. That's perfectly fine. The sending exercise, typically, by the 3rd to 5th day, most people say that the dog gets it. They don't, and you don't have to do it anymore, okay? Because it's so repetitive. The dog gets frustrated, like I mentioned earlier. I just do this until I feel like they got a good concept of what the place word is. Once you get that, you just apply it. Okay. Think your questions.
Nope.
You can pair food with this if you want.
Okay.
You know, when you send her. So, but you're not using it to lure her.
Right. It's
tapping.
after.
Exactly. Once she does it, feed, good girl,
Okay.
and then release her to help balance out the training a bit.
She does still like cower away from like any collar, not just the e-collar. Mm-hmm. Is that fine, or is it like something that would cause a problem?
No.
Okay.
Have you tried food to counter condition?
Yeah, I don't know if I probably haven't been consistent enough with it.
What do you use to condition her?
Peanut butter, or I used to use some like, it's like hot dogs but for dogs.
Hot dogs but for dogs.
It's like the little, I don't know, a little meat thing.
Okay. When I do counter conditioning stuff, if I do any training actually in general, I always just use human stuff. Bacon, turkey, bologna, hot dog, sausage, as long as the dog doesn't have any digestive issues.
She does, but...
Does she? Yeah. So then, I mean, you can use your hot dog stuff or whatever. And then every time, like for instance, if you bring out the collar, give her a treat, put it on, give her a treat.
Yeah.
If you bring it out and she runs away, I don't call her. I just simply go.
Yeah, I've started doing that since you said that, yeah.
Give her a treat, put it on, give her a treat. Let's go.
And make sure the e-collar's on when she eats. Just like that, she has something else to associate it with, too.
Or if you ever let her off leash to, like, you know, chase sticks, you can have the collar on and don't do anything with it. So she gets used to wearing it and not always thinking, like, oh, we're going to do discipline or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's very common. It's either going to be time, but if she's been if she shies away from any kind of collar, I mean, it's nothing bad. It's just how she is.
Okay.
You know, a lot of dogs are fine with their collars, but when the owner brings up the e-collar, then the dog shies away because they think discipline.
Yeah.
But in your case, she just doesn't like collars in general, so it's, you know, that doesn't matter. Otherwise, typically more exposure to things gets them over it. But definitely, food is a good resource to use to get them to feel better about it. Okay.
Okay.
And the more you reward, the faster she gets over it. We tend to do like one big treat, or like just once. And what I tell owners to do is show the dog the collar, give them a treat, put it on, give them a treat, and then when you go to grab it, give them a treat, remove it, give them a treat. And then during the day, you can just show it to her, toss her a treat, you know, so then when she sees it, she just thinks, oh, every time I see that, you know, I get something.
Got it.
Otherwise, not the biggest deal if she shies from it, okay?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No. Last time we were here, I let her, she was on the long lead, but I let go of it and she would recall, so that was pretty nice.
Okay.
Just let her run around.
Yeah. Just keep practicing, keep the long leash on, because there's going to be more stages to that.
Yeah. Oh, I did it when there were like no dogs here too. Yeah.
But yeah, keep working on it, because that takes time anyways. And then otherwise, you should be fine. And the next class, does she know down with food?
No, she just knows the word. And I didn't even come up with a hand signal for it, because I was like, whatever.
But she'll down?
Yeah.
Okay, this week, revisit the down, do it how you normally do it, but just feed her for it.
Okay. So like when she does it, feed her?
Just feed her.
Okay.
Don't worry about her staying or anything like that. Just when she lays down, just feed her.
Okay.
Because next class will cover the down and sit. Then the next class will cover the stay, word, and then after that we'll start putting her on the long leash and start building everything towards a higher level.
Okay.
So like right now we're teaching all this stuff on the short leash, and then we gradually just progress this to no leash.
Yeah.
Okay.
She does confuse down and sit though.
Does she? Okay.
Yeah, I
tried
tried to.
Okay. Fix that. Yeah. Anything else?
Nope.
Was socialization something you wanted to work with her on? I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you have a friend with a dog who can help you or no?
I do. Do they have to be well trained?
I mean, it helps. I'm not well trained, but if they're at least calmer, older dogs.
Oh yeah, he's calmer. I mean, he just sniffs everything. Like he's a hound dog, so he like tugs and sniffs a lot.
Have they met before?
Yeah.
Okay. How'd it go?
It was fine because we kept them apart. So she jumped at him.
Remember,
yeah. This is probably the one I mentioned. She jumped at him a little bit, but then we just walked over to wherever we were gonna eat, and they were fine. Okay. They just didn't play with each other.
Sure. If you want to coordinate with them, I mean, we could do that whenever you're ready. I mean, it could be the next class if you want.
Okay.
Is she muzzle conditioned?
No, she's not.
She's not? Will she tolerate a muzzle?
Good try.
I would try, because the only thing would be, when we're trying to socialize her, like let's say we get to the point where we want to let them go, like mingle, whatever, is it just takes off some of the edge of like what happens if like he jumps on her, or what happens if like, you know, an off-leash dog runs up while we're here trying to socialize them, where it just takes one thing off.
Yeah.
And allows you to socialize her safely. The other thing is like, at least from experience, when people are like, yeah, can you help me socialize my dog? You know, people will touch your dog for no reason, without even asking. But when you ask them to touch your dog, they always go, why? So it's the same thing when it's like socializing with another dog. They'll be like, why? You're like, oh, because she's like, you know, like kind of nervous around dogs. So right away people get suspicious.
Yeah.
So the muzzle just helps them kind of feel more relaxed.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like the muzzle scares people because the other dog, my parents' dogs wear muzzles, and when I would bring her, one of them here, and walk her around, when she had the muzzle on, people would all be like, look, take a step back or like not be near us, which I'm fine with, but I'm like, well, it's on, so you should feel safer.
No, yeah, you know, like it just depends on the person, but it helps take off some of the edge, both for you and then whoever's helping us socialize her. Because then we're not worried if something happens, like, is it going to be like really bad?
Yeah.
So, okay, but I'd start that as soon as you can.
Okay.
And then ask your friend, and then set it up, and then we can meet here, and I'll show you how I integrate dogs together.
Okay.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Anything else?
Nope. Okay.